Hello.
Hello, sir.
Dosis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Clearly, sir.
Okay.
You are
Okay.
audible, sir. Sir, waiting for our TIC to come.
Not an issue. Now, because I'm very new to this particular kind of system, there can be a kind of a technical error.
Okay, sir. No problem. We can manage it. Our TIC is yet to join. Sir, excuse me for a minute. I have to call her. Uh,
No, 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 not a problem.
okay,
You
sir.
just go ahead. Okay. I cannot see myself. Hello. Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Our TIC has joined us.
Well, the other people I cannot.
So, may I start, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Isanidhi,
Mm-hmm.
Isanidhi, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So may I start?
Start. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Thank
of
you.
course. Mm-hmm.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Today, we the Department of English, Kainagar Mahavidyalaya, are going to start for the first time an online lecture series on the virtual platform, the only medium we have at present under such a pandemic situation. Uh, Before its formal inauguration by our respected teacher in charge, Dr. Isani Ghosh, I, on behalf of my department, Kainagar on behalf of my department, would like to express a very warm and hearty welcome to all the participants present either on Google Meet or over YouTube. It's a pleasure to me to declare that today we are joined by a renowned and erudite academician, Dr. Arindam Mrida, Senior Assistant Professor of English, Rabindra Bharati University. On behalf of my department, I heartily welcome him to the very first day of online lecture series, hosted by the Department of English, Kainagar Mahavidyalaya. And it's an honor and privilege on our part to have him as our resource person. Now, I would like to request our respected teacher in charge, Dr. Isani Ghosh, whom I affectionately call Isani D, to formally inaugurate the program with her valuable speech. Now, Isani D.
হ্যালো, শোনা যাচ্ছে? হ্যালো,
Yes, yes, yes.
শোনা যায়?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible. শোনা যাচ্ছে।
Okay, okay, thank you. আচ্ছা, good afternoon. Being the teacher in charge of Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya, I am happy to know as well as proud that the Department of English, led by the junior most faculty member of our college, Devashish De, Assistant Professor and HOD, Head of the Department of English, is organizing from today onwards a series of online lectures. Today's topic being illusion versus reality in a streetcar named Desire. In this context, I would cordially welcome Dr. Arindam Mridha, Senior Assistant Professor of English, Rabindra Bharati University, and Assistant Director, Tagore Gandhi Center. Welcome, sir, and I would request you to commence your most valuable for us, especially who don't belong to this subject, but I'm interested to to listen to your most erudite lecture. And so, by not wasting any more time, we are looking forward for Sir to begin his first lecture on the topic given today. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, thank you, Sanadi, for your wonderful and ever inspirational speech. Now, I would like to request our delegate, Dr. Arindam Mridha, to deliver his lecture entitled Illusion versus Reality in a Streetcar Named Desire. But before handing over the session to him, it is my duty to formally introduce him, though in our areas he is quite a known face. And I feel fortunate enough to have the opportunity of introducing him. Dr. Arindam Mridha is a senior assistant professor of English, Rabindra Bharati University. He joined the university in 2004. His doctoral degree is in the Dalit literature. He is also assistant director of Tagore Gandhi Center, Kolkata. He has published and presented a number of articles and papers of national and international repute. Two of his published books are Mart Existence, The Dalit Experience, and Studies in Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. He has been in active association with different societies and academies around the world. His other research interests are Australian Aboriginals, and Black Africans. And we are confident enough that his scholarly talk will be of great benefit to all of us. Now, before I formally invite Dr. Mridha Sir to deliver his lecture, I request all the participants to put their questions in the chat box or comment box of Google Meet and YouTube. And at the end of the lecture, our resource person will answer some of them. I also request all the participants to keep their video off and microphone muted in order to help us run the program smoothly. Now, without further ado, I request Dr. Arindam Mridha sir to deliver his address. Now it's over to sir.
Am I audible, Devashish?
Yes, clearly audible, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you so much, Devashish. Right? And a very good evening to all my dear students, lovers of literature. So today I'm going to talk on a streetcar named Desire. And the man who created this is the very famous American playwright, Tennessee Williams. Although he was of English origin, but uh, I will be talking on a streetcar named Desire, but at the same time, I'll be bringing in uh, another autobiographical work by Tennessee Williams. It's called The Glass Menagerie. And I think all of you have heard about this particular piece. Now, when we are going to talk about a particular piece which is autobiographical, we must know about the life of the man who created it. And I assure you one thing, Tennessee Williams's life is more interesting than either a streetcar named Desire or the Glass Menagerie, right? Now this Tennessee Williams, his original name is Thomas Lanier Williams III, the second child of Cornelius Williams and Edwina Williams, her older sister being Rose Williams, and he had a younger brother called Duncan Williams. Now, all of you know that life picks words to describe or to define our kind of existence in this world. That word can be something related to unhappiness, desolation. It can be of love, it can be of sympathy, it can be a curse even. Life picked up one word for Tennessee Williams: unwanted. He is not wanted anywhere. He was dying in his childhood days when he was suffering from diphtheria, but somehow he recovered, right? But then he remained a weakling throughout his life. Had a problem with the eye, slightly lame-footed, and to worsen everything, I mean, he was effeminated. Now the problem is he was rejected by the school premises. He was rejected by uh, the playground. He was an alien to his own house even. His father, Cornelius Williams, was more a monster than a father. Highly abusive, very robust, used to talk with his fists, an alcoholic. Just think of that little child, that very frail, weak, introvert child placed against a father who is so very manly, who is so very beastly, who is so very robust. If you have read or if you read this A Streetcar Named Desire, I'm pretty assured that you'll be getting a glimpse of Cornelius Williams in the character of Stanley Kowalski, the husband of Blanche's sister Stella. Williams would have committed suicide if there would have not been the great library of his grandfather from the mother's side, right? He was a widely read man. When he got rejected by each and everybody around him, he resorted to literature, to books. Now, he was highly dependent on one person, and that person was Rose Williams, older sister of Tennessee Williams. But Rose had a problem. Rose was schizophrenic from a very young age. Now, Tennessee Williams shared a world with Rose Williams, and that world had a name, the Glass Menagerie. Both of them used to collect small glass animals, used to keep them in a place, and named it Glass Menagerie. I won't be wrong if I say that the kind of fragility that is usually given to uh, these glass animals, both this brother and sister, they were sharing the same kind of fragility. What I'm trying to say is that they become a part of this fragile world. They were alien to the rest of the world of men and women around them, but they were very much a part of the world of glass animals, the glass menagerie. In 1930s, psychosurgery came to the market, and it's called lobotomy. Now, we usually do not go for surgeries for psychological disorders, but lobotomy was an instant hit. But there were high risk factors with this particular psychosurgery. Now, Cornelius Williams decided that Rose Williams will be undergoing a lobotomy. The whole world of Williams, I mean Tennessee Williams, got shaken because there were 50-50 chances. Either the patient will get cured or the patient will get into a state of vegetable, I mean, in the medical sense of the term. She will be undergoing a lobotomy, and as feared by Tennessee Williams, she will turn herself into a complete vegetable and was thrown into an asylum for the rest of her life. A kind of a maddening effect came on this very lonely Tennessee Williams. He tried writing a few poems, plays, started collaborating plays, came in contact with a lady director, had a very brief kind of an affair with her. But then he was discovering something strange in himself. From here only, his fascination for men started, and he declared himself to be a gay. The first man in his life was Kip Kearney, a bar dancer. Then a series of men came to his life, right from Kip to Pancho, till he met Frank Marlowe, an occasional kind of an actor. He was from the US Navy. 14 long years of steady relationship. We can say the golden period of Tennessee Williams's life. Because all his great plays, whether it's a Glass Menagerie or a Streetcar Named Desire or the Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, all were written during this particular period of time. But there's a problem with, there was a problem with Tennessee Williams. He was suffering from unbridled passion, if you can call it a suffering at all. Unbridled passion when you do not have any control over your passion. So when he was going steady with Frank Marlowe, at the same time, he was having innumerable affairs with men and boys. This will get discovered by Frank Marlowe, and they will have a formal breakup. But after a few months, Frank Marlowe will develop a lung cancer, which was beyond operation. Nothing could be done with him. Tennessee Williams came back. Uh, Tennessee Williams came back, took utmost care of Frank Marlowe, but everything was in vain. Marlowe died. The kind of uh, madness that we have seen in him when Rose was taken to the asylum, the same kind of madness, if not more intense, came back. He was given to heavy alcoholism. He was an alcoholic, a drug addict, a heavy smoker, but the whole situation worsened. It's a pity that one of the greatest playwrights of our time got arrested for open homosexual behavior, drug abuses, alcoholism. His life came to an end the most dramatic way possible. He was on for a poet's mate. He was taking resort to a motel, right? And on that particular night, he was heavily drugged. By then, he had an operation with the eye. So he had to give regular eye drops, apply regular eye drops, right? And on that particular night, he was holding the small plastic cap of that bottle in between his lips. And he was trying to apply that drop. Somehow he choked, and that killed him. I'd like to read something which he has written in his will. He wrote in his will in 1972, I, Thomas Lanier Williams, being in sound mind upon this subject, and having declared this wish repeatedly to my close friends, do hereby state my desire, please take note of it, desire to be buried at sea. More specifically, I wish to be buried at sea at as close as possible point as the American poet Hart Crane. Now he was a follower, an avowed follower of the great American poet Hart Crane, died by choice in the sea. I wish to be sewn up in a canvas sack and dropped overboard, as stated above, as close as possible to where Hart Crane was given by himself to the great mother of life, which is the sea, the Caribbean specifically. So we are seeing that a kind of an obsession worked in him. He was not asking for a burial. He was asking for what? Sea burial? That a similar kind of a thing you'll be finding is obsession with sea. in Blanche as well.
দাঁড়া
I'd like to quote, "The rest of my days I am going to spend on the sea. And when I die, I am going to die on the sea. You know what I shall die of? I shall die of eating an unwashed grape. One day, out on the ocean, I will die with my hand in the hand of some nice looking ship's doctor, a very young one with a small blonde mustache and a big silver watch. Poor lady, they will say, the quinine did her no good. That unwashed grape has transported her soul to heaven." Now I should talk something about the story itself. It's a brief kind of a storyline. Uh, Blanche Dubois is coming from a very well-known plantation, and the plantation had a beautiful name. It's called Belle Reve. And Blanche was always very, very proud of this Belle Reve. But throughout the play, you will find her repeating one thing, that she is a part of Belle Reve. Even when she got detached completely from Belle Reve, she, in her mind, somehow stayed with Belle Reve only. Now, she has come to her sister's house. Her sister is called Stella. Stella has married a working class man. His name is Stanley Kowalski. Now, this Stanley Kowalski stands in stark contrast with this quote unquote fantastic creature called Blanche Dubois. I've told you earlier that the kind of things that you have noticed in Cornelius Williams, the father of Tennessee Williams, the same kind of things can be traced in this man called Stanley Kowalski. But then there was something which cannot be denied. Apart from being a beast, a monster, an alcoholic, a highly abusive kind of a man, there was something very, very magnetic in him, which can be called animal magnetism. Tennessee Williams could never make out how her uh, mother, Edwina, who is coming from such a posh background, can stay with this man of an animal called Cornelius Williams. In the same way, you will find this Blanche, she's totally confused. How can Stella, being a part of Belle Reve, can stay with a man like uh, Stanley Kowalski? Now, before the coming of this Blanche Dubois, the real world of Stanley was ruling. With the coming of this Blanche, the world of illusion stepped in. And now you'll be finding the two worlds, that of illusion and of reality, jostling together, the small, squalid flat of Stella. Blanche is not ready to come out of her obsession with certain things that you'll get to know. I'll be reading them later. As Stanley is not ready to go with her whims. Now, if I talk of illusions proper, a few lines from the text. Now, you can note down that Tennessee Williams has used number one, music, number two, light, and number three, lies to create the world of illusion for Blanche Du Bois. First, music. The music provides both a background to Blanche's trauma, develops the cynic mood, and reveals much of the protagonist's coping mechanism. I quote, the Versuviana, the polka tune, they were playing when Alan, I have not talked about Alan. Alan Gray was the husband of uh, Blanche Du Bois, a very young poet, very sensible. Now, Alan Gray is something important to Tennessee Williams because Alan Gray was married to Blanche, but then after the marriage, Blanche will be discovering Alan Gray having a homosexual kind of a relationship with an aged man. He will become very, very abusive, and it will result in the death of Alan Gray. So why Alan Gray is important to Tennessee Williams? You have heard of straight people, you have heard of the same-sex lovers, I mean the gay people and the lesbians as well. But there are people who suffer constantly from a kind of a confusion. It's a peculiar kind of a state where you are confused about your sexual orientation. Tennessee Williams had relationships with women. I mean, he was into affairs with women. Then he switched to men. So this confused kind of sexual orientation was there in Alan Gray as well as Tennessee Williams. Okay, so the polka tune they were playing when Alan dead. A distant revolver shot is heard. Blanche seems relieved. There now, the shot. It always stops after that. The Vesuviana signals moments of discomfort, despair, and anxiety for Blanche. The polka music acts as a foundation for Blanche's relationship tragedy and skewed mental state. Music represents Blanche's dysfunctional need for reassurance. Echoed again, it's another song. Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make believe if you believed in me. It's a Burnham and Bailey world, just as funny as it can be. But it wouldn't be make believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. Now, Williams' choice, excuse me for a minute. Sorry, I was in need of some water. So it's only a paper moon. It's not a mere accident that he has used this particular song. Blanche sings this particular lyric with lightheartedness. But her lyrical choice and powerful mission shows her emphasis on staying in her fantasy world. For her to remain in her delusion, Blanche needs to feel some sense of adoration from others. The honky tonk parade and penny arcade represent Blanche's view of her own reality. It is cheap, tacky, and gaudy. Then we come to light. Bright lights attempt to expose those things in life that Blanche desires to conceal. In response, Blanche actively lives in shadows of illusion through her clouded kind of perception. With each obstacle, Blanche's need for fantasy increases to the point where she no longer can perceive the difference between fantasy and reality. The same kind of confused state where she is getting into that particular zone or area where both fantasy and reality are getting mixed. I quote, and turn that overlight off, turn that off. I won't be looked at in this merciless glare. Now she avoids bright lights. She will have to protect her image. She is in need of darkness. For Blanche, light eradicates the darkness of her illusion. Reality is somewhere related to light and illusion to darkness. See, just to protect her world of illusion, she is in need of what? Darkness. Then she has nothing to do with light. Light represents inescapable truth, and Blanche is not in need of truth. I'll come to that. Blanche retreats into darkness and fantasy. Why? Because she is incapable of dealing or to cope with truth. I quote again, and then the searchlight which had been turned on the world was turned off again, and never for one moment since has there been any light that's stronger than this kitchen candle. When Alan dies, something in Blanche dies as well. She ties her loss to the loss of light. As she is absorbed in darkness, she is in need of darkness. Her inner kind of feelings should have a proper reciprocation to what? The darkness outside. Thus she hides from lights, not only because they expose the truth, but because she no longer has a light internally or externally. Her avoidance of light and truth shows Blanche's dependence on denial and deception. Blanche has descended so far into her fantasy that she cannot bear any representation of truth. Light presents clarification of her world, and this she cannot handle. Now, one thing you cannot deny that she had a major kind of a contribution in the death of her husband Alan Gray. If she would have tried to delve deep into him or into his problem, perhaps Alan would have never died. She contributed in his death. This is what? Reality. She is not in reality, in need of reality. Because reality will do what? Reality will expose everything. I quote again, I cannot stand a naked light bulb any more than I can a rude remark or a vulgar action. Now, she covers the naked light bulb with a Chinese paper lantern. I cannot stand a naked light bulb any more than I can a rude remark or a vulgar action. This particular remark shows that blonde should rather hide behind polite phrases than accept truth and reality. The paper lantern is not very stable and it can easily be destroyed, just like Blanche's illusion. A paper lantern that is covering the light. This is what? Illusion covering reality. This paper lantern stands for what? Illusion. And the naked bulb represents what? Reality. Blanche treats luminous objects with contempt. When exposed to light, Blanche's sense of self-worth and security is dismantled. Her aversion comes to a climax when Mitch threatens to turn on the lights. Don't turn the light on. He turns the light on, she cries out and covers her face. Then we come to lie. One thing I should say that Blanche is a damn liar. For many living, I mean, for many of us, living in a world of fantasy gives a sense of security. If you have read The Glass Menagerie, you'll be finding Amanda Wingfield, the mother, getting back to her past, soaked in a world of illusion. And the same is true for her son, Tom Wingfield. Like Tennessee Williams, he is dragged into a shoemaking company, disgusted with the kind of job that he's engaged with. He is also into illusion, and his illusory world is getting created by what? Movies and magic shows. Not to say anything about Laura, because Laura has a whole world of illusion to herself, and she has a name even. I mean, the world of fantasy has a name even, the Glass Menagerie. So, why do we resort to this world of fantasy? Because it obviously gives us a false sense of security. She is a liar. And she refers to her tendency to lie and argues that she has no regrets in doing so. She is happy with her lies. Now, her lies, just you can make a list of her lies. Number one, she appears to be the damsel in distress, while in reality, she is the temptress figure in the play. Throughout the play, Blanche lies about her past. This is number two. Tries to make herself seem innocent and pretends to be the faithful widow of her beloved husband. Number three, she acts as though her life is very depressing, which creates the illusion of helplessness in the minds of those who meet her. Number four, in reality, she was involved with many men and she used them to satisfy her desires. Acts such as flirting with Stanley, sleeping with multiple men in a hotel, and having an affair with a 17-year-old student prove that she is the dangerous figure, and she masks her lustful and selfish nature by pretending to be pure and innocent. Next, she constantly bathes herself and frequently wears white dresses to show her purity, while in reality, she actively takes part in acts which would be deemed disgraceful at the time. Now, it's not that Blanche is not aware of a tendency. She's quite aware of her tendency to deceive. I quote, I don't want realism. I want magic. I try to give that to people. I don't tell the truth. I tell what ought to be true. I repeat, I don't want realism. I want magic. I try to give that to people. I don't tell the truth. I tell what ought to be true. Blanche is in need of fantasy. She needs to believe that the world is kinder and prettier than it is actually. Through her alterations of truth, Blanche forces the world to be as beautiful as she wants it to be. This particular relationship foreshadows Blanche's inevitable descent into madness when the securities are removed. She cannot live in fantasy forever. When Blanche is led away by the doctor, her mental state is completely dissolved and she succumbs to her own madness. Quote, whoever you are, I have always depended on the kindness of strangers. Unquote. When faced with the choice of embracing reality or remaining in fantasy, Blanche chooses the latter and her mental state degenerates. In this scene, Blanche is forced to acknowledge her circumstances and as a result declines. Her impending placement into a mental institution simply reinforces the sanctuary of her mind. She fully submits into her delusions. She now finds herself in a world where reality and illusion are one. Now, the illusion that worked in case of, with the character of Stanley Kowalski. Stella had a misgiving. What kind of a misgiving? She always believed that though he is an evil, he is basically or ultimately good at heart. Though in reality, he was nothing but a brute and a monster who will be raping this Blanche towards the end of the play. Now, what's about this Alan Gray, the young husband of Blanche? Reality is that Blanche contributed to his death. She tries initially to hide this fact through multiple lies and illusion which she creates. For example, when Blanche asked, when Stanley asked about Alan Gray's death, she denied an answer. Although at the last, when Meet will be asking about this Alan Gray, for the first time in her life or in the play itself, she came very close to reality. right? She will be confessing all about Alan Gray's death and her contribution to it. Then we come to Mitch. It appears that Blanche and Mitch represent the soulmate archetype. But in reality, Blanche just uses Mitch as a means to hide and escape from the reality of her life. Now, I have not introduced Mitch to you people. Mitch is the friend of Stanley Kowalski. The group of friends which Stanley brings to his house, to his compartment, I mean, to his flat for poker game, he was the only decent and gentle kind of man. Now, the moment Blanche saw this particular man, Mitch, and came to know about his gentle behavior, she started eyeing on him. It's not that she's in love with Mitch or something like that. She was simply trying to use Mitch. She has lost her ancestral property, Belle Reve. She has lost her job as a school teacher. Rather, she was kicked out of the school because she was having a relationship with an underage, I mean, a 17-year-old student. So she will have to think of a kind of an accommodation which can give her security, monetary stability, and somewhat a peaceful kind of life. So just quickly go with a few points which you must note if you really talk on illusion and reality. Number one, Blanche experiences a loss of innocence after her husband's death. As it is at the time, she builds a world of false happiness for herself by having affairs with multiple men. Now, what can be the possible kind of explanation of this particular? Blanche experiences a loss of innocence after her husband's death, as it is at this time that she builds a world of false happiness for herself by having affairs with multiple men. Now, there were many people who thought Blanche to be a quote unquote bad woman. If I say that after the death of Alan Gray, you cannot deny that she was madly in love with Alan Gray and that she started having relationships with so many men and boys. The sole intention was to get a glimpse of Alan Gray in at least any one of them. She was not a bad woman. I think she was simply searching for a glimpse of Alan Gray and nothing else. Next, creating a world of illusion and aiming to hide from reality is a moral imperfection which leads to her fall as the society does not accept her and she is forced to leave her hometown. Next, for Blanche, the battle between good and evil is making the choice between lying and further expanding her world of illusions of seeing the truth and accept reality. This is an ongoing battle for her throughout the play, as she sometimes chooses to speak the truth and lies at the other time. For example, she reveals the truth about her husband's death to Mitch, which shows that she has accepted reality. But in the same scene, she lies to Stanley saying that Mitch had come to apologize to her for not showing up to her birthday party. The death of her husband is something that seems to haunt Blanche throughout the play. She does not reveal that she played a major role in her husband's suicide until the end of the play, or this is the unbearable wound which she tries to cover up through false innocence and purity. But in reality, drives her towards desperate measures of madness, which include constantly lying to keep her guilt secret. For this, I will refer back to that particular line. I don't want realism. I want magic. I try to give that to people. I don't tell the truth. I tell what ought to be true. I'm just repeating the same thing. Blanche needs the option of fantasy. She needs to believe that the world is kinder and prettier than it is actually. Before concluding this particular lecture, uh, I'll just give you an example from a very new film from the Bengali film industry. It's called Shamantoral. I really don't know how many of you have seen that particular movie. Parambrata Chattopadhyay was in the lead role. I'll just give a small example before I conclude. Parambrata was standing, I mean, the character, the role played by him, right? Uh, he's a homosexual, a gay, right? Was standing on his rooftop, right? And all of a sudden, he was shocked with cries and abuses. He just looked down, saw a rickshaw puller getting scolded, abused, beaten by a man. Because accidentally the rickshaw puller slipped and the man fell down. He was getting beaten up by that man. Now, this Parambrata, I mean, the role that he played, he cannot alter the situation. He has no power. So, what he did, he just closed his eyes, and when he reopened his eyes, he was seeing what? The man who came down from the rickshaw, he is apologizing to that rickshaw puller. That was not happening. He was only imagining. He was only creating a world of illusion where everything is kinder and prettier. The kind of kindness, the kind of sympathy that you can expect from the world of illusion, you can never expect that from the world of reality. Thank you so much, Ishanidhi. Thank you, Devashish. Devashish, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you, sir, for your wonderful and insightful talk on the topic, which has opened up some new perspective among us, surely, and I believe it would. Now, as a question answer session, as I have found, we have not received any such question.
Okay.
There is a request on my part, sir, to you, sir.
Yeah.
As we know that Tennessee Williams' works are associated with visceral themes, so would you please,
Can you please repeat?
as we know that Tennessee Williams' works are associated with visceral themes, so would you please explain, of course, in briefly, with special reference to class menagerie and a streetcar named Desire? That is a request from me, actually, not a question at all.
I think you should write down the question. I cannot hear the words that we're using.
Visceral
properly?
pain, sir. Visceral. Okay, sir.
Can you please write it on the comment box,
Yes, 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 I can.
please?
Hello, sir. Sir, you got it? Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible? Uh, Sir, are you there, sir? Sir, am I audible?
Devashish sir, you are audible. Go on. Thank you.
Sir, are you there, sir? Uh, I think we are facing some technical problem.
Devashish,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly.
Devashish, can I rejoin through my mobile?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have joined. We can see that you have joined.
Okay, okay, okay.
But
Just 1 minute, 1 minute.
we cannot
It's
see you,
making a
sir.
peculiar sound.
Yes, sir. You cannot see you.
Just a minute. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay, okay, sir. Yes.
I'll set up the machine and I'll get back. Just give me two
Okay, sir.
minutes.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Devashish.
sir.
So, where to see this written kind of thing?
Sorry, sir.
Uh, where is that particular? I mean, I
That
told you
question,
earlier
that
that.
question. Okay,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
in the chat
I
box,
want to
sir.
see it.
You can find it. You can find it in the chat box.
Chat
Yes,
box.
sir.
Okay, just give me a minute. I cannot get back to the. Neither I can see you people nor it's writing new meeting. Join with a code. What should I do?
No, sir. As we have found that, sir, you
Okay,
have
okay,
joined
okay, okay,
us.
okay, 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 okay. I've seen. In call messages, turn on captions, report a problem, share a screen. Which one to be tapped?
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah, can you have you opened the chat box, sir, or have you found it?
No. Where
Okay,
to see
I
it?
can write down. I can write down it again.
Okay,
Then you can find it.
okay. Oh, I got it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I
Okay,
got
sir.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, Devashish.
Yes, sir.
So
It's a
the
request.
visceral thing.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
the
Yes.
visceral. Uh, Tennessee Williams was a highly emotional kind of a person. Uh, Probably that was the reason why he has suffered so much throughout his life.
Yes, sir.
And whether it's the listen, Devashish, both the glass menagerie, as we have talked
Yes,
about
sir.
the glass menagerie and the streetcar and a streetcar named Desire,
Okay, sir.
both are coming from whom? Who is this Blanche Dubois? The kind of unbridled passion that you can find in Blanche Dubois, the same kind of unbridled passion worked in Tennessee Williams.
Yes, sir.
Emotion, not intellect, emotion. So, uh, who is this representative of the world of reality in this particular play? I mean, Stanley Kowalski,
Yes, sir.
representing whom? Cornelius Williams.
Yes, sir.
Who is this Stella? Stella is Edwina Williams.
Yes.
Who is Alan Gray? Alan Gray is Tennessee Williams. In the same way, in Glass Menagerie, Amanda is Edwina. Tom is obviously Thomas Lanier Williams. And Laura is both Tennessee Williams and Rose Williams. So there are, what should I say, a good kind of a contribution of his own life experiences to both these plays, right? I'm lost again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, we have got a question from the audience. Uh, may I read it out, sir? Am I audible, sir? I think he has left us. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Sir, hello, sir. Sir, switch on your microphone.
Oh, acha, acha, acha.
Ah,
Okay, now
okay.
you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly audible. You are.
I'm really very sorry. I am not really acquainted with Google Meets or things
Okay,
like
sir.
this, right?
All right, sir. No problem.
Apologies. And where
No
is
problem.
Ishanidhi?
Uh,
Is
I think she
Ishanidhi
has
there?
left. I think she has left.
Okay.
Uh, she has
So,
left us.
do we need her for this formal kind of?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. We
Okay,
are
okay, okay.
just about to
Then
offer the formal vote of thanks, and then we will conclude.
okay, 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 okay.
Uh, yes. All right, sir. Now we have some technical problem. Due to some technical problem, some obstacles have happened. Now we are about to offer the formal vote of thanks. Uh, Now, I, on behalf of the Department of English, Kainagar Mahavidyalaya, would like to express my sincere gratitude and thankfulness to our respected delegate, Dr. Arindam Mridha, for accepting our invitation and giving his valuable time despite his hectic schedule. And we have been enriched by his wonderful, mesmerizing, and insightful lecture. Secondly, uh, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our respected teacher in charge for her inspiration and support to organize this lecture series. Thirdly, I want to thank Mr. Otanu Dotto Khan for his technical support since the very beginning. Fourthly, I am also thankful to Professor Subhasis Chatterjee, Assistant Professor of Bengali and IPSC Coordinator, Kainagar Mahavidyalaya, for his help. And last but not the least, I appreciate all the participants, the students, research scholars, and faculty members for staying with us with rapt attention and also with passions, and thereby making our program really successful. Lastly, and thank you again, all of you. And we are very sorry for some technical problems. Technical errors happened to that day, that program. Now I'm going to sign out. And before sign out, uh, I thank you again all. Now stay safe and enjoy the puja. Thank you.
Thank you, Devashish. Thank you all. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
sir. Okay, sir.